So Sharon, thanks for being here with me today, where we are going to be talking about women's challenges in the workplace, the steps that women are taking to overcome the obstacles that they face, and the steps that corporations, organizations are taking or could be taking to retain talented women and promote talented women. I'd like to start by asking you to tell us a little bit about your own background in corporate America and subsequently with your own firm.
Thank you, John, for having me here.
Pleasure.
I appreciate it. My first position was directly out of graduate school with an executive search firm in New York. Mm-hmm. And after a couple of years with the firm, I was offered a transfer to Chicago to open an office here. And relocating for a job was unheard of at that time, at least in my world. People always thought I moved for my husband's job, but I transferred for my own. And after a couple of years, I moved to a large retailer as manager of organization planning, and from there received what for me was a quantum leap at the time to a position of director of human resources with a large commercial real estate company. I was there for about 10 years and was promoted all along the way. And I became the chief operating officer of an international real estate company. And after a number of years, I just got the entrepreneurial bug and decided I wanted to open my own firm. And for the past more than a decade, I've owned my own executive search and human resources consulting firm, specializing in commercial real estate.
And how unusual was it at that time for a woman to leave a secure position, a senior position in corporate America and set up on her own? Were you a bit of a pioneer?
I think I was a bit of a pioneer. I felt that I would have opportunities for increased income and flexibility to own my own company. And I was really pleased that even the first year that I went out, when I left my executive position, my first year as an entrepreneur, I was even more successful than I had been previously. Wow. So my gut was right.
Your gut was right. And you had a young family at that stage, right? I mean, was that part of what drove the decision to run your own show for increased flexibility?
That was part of it. I suppose that was part of it. It was more to have an opportunity to run something my own way, rather than to be in a position where I had to kind of take other people's mission and do that.
You were telling me an interesting story before about your daughters and photographs, and talk me through that.
Yeah, that was something very significant to me. When I was coming up through the ranks, I had given birth to my two daughters, and they were babies. And I, at the beginning, didn't have pictures of my children up on the credenza, and all the other men did. And I was the only woman in that role. And I remember going through the process of when I became a director of HR that I thought it would be really important for me to set an example, and I knew that I was a role model for other women in the organization. And I remember thinking that I'm not going to help the cause of women if I don't put this forward. I remember going through that process of putting up pictures of my daughters, and I took a lot of ribbing for it, actually. I remember the men would often say, you have a whole staff at home taking care of your kids, and they joked about it as if I would be able to work in any way without that, whereas most of those people had stay-at-home wives who took care of their families for them.
Yeah. So it was something that you grappled with, even to put your photographs of your daughter on
exactly
your own desk. It was like too much of a reminder that you're a woman after all.
It was. I thought that it would hold me back from being promoted at work.
Wow. Because
I thought that it would be held against me.
Wow. Having daughters, or having photographs, or
having children.
Having children.
That it would sort of demonstrate that I wasn't that committed to my work, but that I was more of a family person. And I really think it was like that. Right. That people thought that way at that time.